they pulled out. They pulled out because of the market. And that was the first time I really felt an impact of the market. And I was literally about 30 days away from getting like another $3 to $4 million payday on this dirt that we acquired and done. That was the chip that fell, right? And it became really different. From that point, the market literally eroded from there. The bad news came out, foreclosures happened, and I spent most of 2007 negotiating with our lenders on trying to, and now the cool thing is I had one personal guarantee for $4 million. The rest of them were non-asset. So we gave those properties back to the lenders, including the 400,000 in this deal, 500,000, 700,000 in this deal. We gave the properties back. And I had this one deal with a personal guarantee, right? So now I had to negotiate. He let us out of the personal guarantee and gave him back the property and helped him through the process and whatever. I still know him today. He's a good guy, the lender. And essentially, I found myself in 2008. Market crashed. I'm not doing wholesaling. I'm getting away from my morning ritual. I'm drinking too much. I'm overweight. I'm kind of lost on the wholesaling thing, the core thing that I got away from. I got too big for my britches. I wasn't praying. I wasn't doing the things I know I had to do. And I remember, it was crazy. I don't think I've ever told this story, but my wife was a realtor at the time, and she saved up probably about 200 grand at the time. And we were in the process of doing this huge house remodel, right? Because I was expecting to get this $1 million payday from this land and all this stuff and do this house. So half of our house was basically off to the open, right? And we ran out of money. So I have my house. So I got my kids. I have two daughters at this time, my wife. I'm dealing with these guys. I have no business going on. I have no deals going on. I'm literally, now we gave these properties back. I'm literally out of cash, and we have no on the side of my house. We have basically plastic to the open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, what do I do? So my father-in-law gave me a book called The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. And the first law talks about tithing. Now, I'm sure probably no one's ever talked about tithing on the show ever, so I'm probably the first guy. But it talked about tithing is giving, in the Bible, it talks about giving a tenth of your income. But I didn't have any income. So I remember I went to, my wife said, hey, you go to the store and get something. And I remember I go to the store, and I'm coming out the store, and there's this man and his wife and his daughter that were sitting out begging for something. And I literally give him my last $20 bill. And I was like, I gave him my $20 bill. And at that point, I remember I'm sitting there broken. I've been in real estate. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand about the market. And I'm sitting there, and I'm lost. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So from that point, I committed to giving 10% of any dime that comes in my family. That's one thing I did. I started getting up early. I cut the drinking. I started to get myself back in shape. And I literally started from scratch as a real estate wholesaler. And I hand wrote letters, because I couldn't afford marketing, from my kitchen table, 25 a night. I took a yellow pad of paper, and I hand wrote letters to the pre-foreclosure. I got that little $100 cost me for a pre-foreclosure list. And I literally hand wrote letters, right? And at the time, listen to this, because all the land, I was going through an IRS audit. And because we had so many LLCs and so many properties and stuff like that and so many things, I had a stack of bank statements, and they were checking every single deposit. Now that's one thing, my taxes are clean, right? So I had everything. The IRS is screwed, but the taxes are clean, right? So I went through, and I was in the middle of this audit. And remember, my house is open, and I'm just trying to we ran out of money for the contractor. So I'm stuck, right? So I'm in the middle of this audit. I go meet with this audit lady that's doing this thing, and she says, "We've closed the file. You're good," right? And about 3 or 4 days later, a $96,000 check shows up in the mail, completely unbeknownst, right? Unexpected, because and she didn't tell me this either. I paid too much taxes.
Oh.
Actually, the income that was reported. So when they audited me, they found out I paid too much, and they sent me a check for $96,000.
Fantastic audit.
It was like, yeah, you never want to get audited, number one. Number two, if you do get audited, make sure they give you money, which is rare. So first off, it's a rarity and that ever happened, but we had literally the perfect amount of money to finish the rest of our house. We got that completed and done. And it was the first sign of brightness at the end. I saw a little hint of light at the end of the tunnel, because things started to I felt like turn around. I sent some letters. I got a deal, that came in, a $4,000 or $5,000 deal, and I got another deal. And from that point, and that was 2008, 2009. I just started building. And at the time, we borrowed money from family and friends and stuff to do these deals. So I spent the better part of probably 3 or 4 years paying them back, to make good on.
You're able to pay them back?
Yeah, pay them back. So that was good. Never filed bankruptcy, did anything like that. That was all good. But I had to literally unwind myself out of this mess that I got myself in, because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I didn't know. That's why I'm really passionate today of talking about, the market and what's happening, just talking about the indicators that I wish I would have known. And then someone, their own intelligence can make their own decision, on what they want to do.
Before we get into all that, I want to do just 2 different things here. First, talk about the emotions, right? Like, what would, how long you were sitting through that? What were the thoughts that were going through it? Because look, you not only had a lot of success, like it's one thing to never experience success. It's another thing to experience massive success and then get brought down to earth. At least a dozen times in my career, I was like, oh, I finally got it figured out.
Yeah, right. Never.
Right. You never do. Right. So talk about like that crash landing and like the emotions that you went through.
I'll talk about the low point. So the low point of that whole thing is my house is open. I remember I'm overweight. I'm drinking.
What's overweight for you?
Overweight. So I'm about 205 right now. So I was about 240, 250. So I had a gut on me. My face was all chunky,
We're gonna have to find some old pictures.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna find some old pictures. But I just, it's like when you drink a lot, you're just kind of get, kind of drawn and stuff. And so that was a bad thing. I wasn't waking up early. I wasn't doing my morning ritual. And I was completely disconnected, sleeping in, just in a bad state.
Not wanting to get up.
Not wanting to get up. Every time I get up, I have to put out some sort of fire or deal with some sort of problem. So
there's like a little bit of
denial type of, just almost like avoidance.
Yeah, avoidance. Like you're resigned. Like if I get up, what am I getting up to?
Yeah. And it was like more crap, just like up again, more crap. So the low point was Labor Day, right? Which is coming up Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. So Labor Day, it was Labor Day, 2008. So do you remember what happened in 2008?
I mean, was that right around Lehman Brothers?
It was right around Lehman Brothers, July of 2008. It happened in Lehman Brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So TARP came out, $1 trillion bailout. Every morning I'd wake up and I'd look at the real estate section looking for signs of hope, right? Trying to look for some sort of signs or something. So what I did was, it was Labor Day. I was sleeping in and I get this knock on the door, right? And I'm like, oh, throwing my hat, have my boxers on, and we didn't have Discord back then. And throw on my hat, and I go to the door, and there's like this thug looking guy there, right? He has some tattoos on. September, it's hot out, and he goes, "I'm here for the car." And have you ever felt adrenaline like come over you where you like start shaking?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, so he goes, "I'm here for the car." I was like, okay. So I'm literally shaking. I go grab my keys, and it was a Range Rover that I had, and I'm like shaking and stuff, and I'm like, and I went to go outside, and my neighbors are mowing the lawn, and my other neighbor, hey Sean, how's it going? I got a tow truck in front of my house to come get my car. Right, I'm sitting there shaking like this. I'm in my boxers, my hat on, and luckily I said, here, just give me a second. I called the lender. And I said, hey, can you give me till Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to come up with whatever the money was on it, like a couple $1,000. And they said yes. So the guy went away. I was able to raise the money to pay for the stupid car, and that was the low point. And I can tell you, the humiliation of walking out there and all my neighbors in a tow truck sitting out there.
It's public. Everyone knows.
Public. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and just my wife's going, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, what's going on? I'm like, and my kids are like, what, Daddy, what's going on? I'm like, and they're in the adrenaline rush of just this fear of going through you is completely unexplainable. And from that point, I've just like, I got to change.
Yeah.
I got to change.
If you want to become one of our 100 millionaires, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now.